I'm going to build an adjustable climbing board.
Fuck off.
The only problem? I'm not a carpenter or construction worker. And with a small budget I can only afford so many mistakes. But that's not gonna stop me. Okay, maybe it will. Let's start from the beginning. This is our living room. My plan is to move the table and chairs, then place the kickboard against the side of the wall, and then mount the board on the kickboard with hinges. Then add an electrical winch or hand winch and make it sturdy with chains. But first we got to get the lumber and plywood from the hardware store. They could not cut the lumber because it was too thick for the saw, so I had to borrow a saw of a buddy of mine. After measuring the wood, it was time to cut it. I cut the top and bottom beam at 244 meters and the vertical beams at 2 meters and 35 centimeters. So I ended up with a square of 2.44 meters. As for the kickboard, I used the same top and bottom measurements and made 31.2 centimeters vertical beams. So I ended up with a 40 centimeter kickboard. And as last, I had to cut off the plywood for the kickboard, as I forgot to ask the hardware store to cut this piece of plywood. So I ended up doing it with a jigsaw. As this was done, we carried all the lumber up to the living room and I could start the assembly. We moved the table and chairs to the middle of the room after we made some space. We also had to move the lamp as it was hindering the path of the adjustable climbing board. As I started with the kickboard, I already came across a huge problem. The lumber was warped.
Ik kan gewoon verder gaan. Heel scheef. Weer te kijken waar gaat het mis.
I continued with the build in the hope that the kickboard will be pulled straight when fully assembled and mounted on the wall. So first I measured the vertical beams and then mounted them. After that I added the plywood and the kickboard was basically done, as I will not place any T-nuts in the kickboard, as the footholds are almost always screw-in holes. It was then time to mount the brackets on the kickboard and to the wall. I first placed them on the kickboard, then measured the holes at the wall and drilled the holes into the concrete with the hammer drill, after checking for electricity and piping of course. After placing the kickboard, it actually pulled quite straight and it was very sturdy, so I was quite pleased with that. As for the frame itself, I started out with the outer pieces and then mounted all the vertical beams and the horizontal beams. After I measured everything to make sure it was on the right spot. I did not have any plans for a T-nut layout, so I just spaced the horizontal and vertical beams evenly and figured out the spacing later. I will tell you later in the video what spacing I ended up choosing. Finished the frame and the kickboard. I placed the carabines. It's nice and sturdy now. It's pretty straight actually, so that's good. I'm gonna go to the hardware store and then hardware store? I don't know. And get another hinge. And then I'm gonna install the hinges only on the kickboard, and then we're gonna wait for the hand winch, install that a couple of days later, and probably get also a 12mm drill for the bolt holes. I'm gonna do a 72 grit. I'm not gonna do any bolt holes on the kickboard because I'm just gonna use screw-in footholds, and then it should be good. I'm gonna get the hinge, drill bit, and another connection point on the board for the hand winch. And I have to think about where I'm gonna put the hand winch because I probably cannot reach behind the board because the board will be here, and yeah, I cannot reach in the middle of the wall, so I'm gonna try to figure out where I'm gonna put the winch as well. But I will let you know. We just got our chains, so let's check them out if they're gonna fit or not.
If they're strong enough, they should be able to withstand 160 kilograms each, or 4 breakage. So that leaves us with 320 kilograms total, I think. And then we're gonna add the hand winch as well, which can withstand 700 kilograms. So in total that should be good, I think. I hope. Otherwise I'm fucked. But we will see. So before mounting the plywood to the frame, I drilled the T-nut layout first. I remembered I also have a wood router with a 12mm bit, which should work fine for the job, as it will drill as straight a hole as I will with the wood drill. So after measuring everything and drawing all the dots on the board, I went into a couple-hour session of drilling the holes. A lot of smoke and dust came from it, which was not really surprising, but it took a while at least. When I was done, I ended up with 144 holes and had to wait for the T-nuts to arrive before mounting them into the holes. After a quick snack, I went on to connect the multiplex boards to the frame. After the board was completed, I started drilling the holes into the wall for the anchors, which has caused some problems because I had to redo most of the holes or had to come up with some other mounting options that uses the same holes. And I ended up drilling some different holes as well for the middle anchor. The hole that I drilled are too big. It said it was 8mm drill, so I did that. But the holes in the concrete turned out too big, so it doesn't anchor into the wall. But also can't get them out, so you know, that's fun. Fuck off. Before I placed the anchors, I also connected the hinges. I first connected them to the kickboard, which was a mistake, as I could not fit the drill in between the area to also drill the holes in the board itself. So I had to disconnect the hinges and first connect them to the board and then screw them in the kickboard again. So we had some issues with the board. The holes were too big, so I ended up buying some different one with some metal plugs. Those work nice, as well as some different ones, and I makeshift a bracket, wall brackets on the wall, but the concrete is not that good, so sucks. I end up doing 4 hinges and 4 wall brackets, and those were quite nice. But yeah, we now have to raise the wall. I cannot do this on my own because I don't trust the side wall for the what's it called, hand hinge, winch, hand winch. I also had some issues with that, as I thought the handle would be smaller, but it's actually quite large. Okay.
Wat heb jij nou weer gekocht?
Kut Stefan. Deze zijn wel nice. Die zit te dichtbij, zie ik nu.
Oh shit.
So the build is done. I did add some modifications. I added ceiling brackets as opposed to the only 2 wall brackets. I have added a anchor to the hand winch, and and added. I didn't add another chain, but I used the single chain because it's long enough. It's not holding this one yet, but I have to figure out the spacing as well. So we have 4 hinges as well as 4 wall brackets. Those are very sturdy. I think all in all it should be able to handle all the weight quite easily, especially with the ceiling brackets as well. I added some holes currently, and there's many more to go. I have also the Euro holes also came in just this weekend, so I'm gonna add those as well. I already placed some. So that's the build. It was quite long and painful, to be honest, and ended up being a bit on the expensive side because I bought a lot of stuff. For example, the anchor bolts. Those didn't work, so I had to buy different ones, and those are quite expensive. I also bought too many T-nuts, but yeah, just in case. As well, I didn't buy enough screws, so I had to go a lot back and forth to buy more long screws and different screws. And also the anchors in the wall, the anchors itself, not the bolt anchors, I didn't know which one to use, so I ended up buying 2 anchors with O-rings and then 2 different ones. The one I used for the wall on the back side, I can show you that now. Actually, it's that one, and the same one is on the other side as wall bracket as well. I didn't end up using the eye bolt because it was bending. I don't know if you can see it, but here's nice and straight, so that should be fine. But there is probably pulling from an angle, so I didn't kept it on. So yeah, that's basically built and the upgrades. The hand winch is also a bit of a problem because, as you can see, if I pull it, the wood disconnect from the wall, so that's a bit of a sketchy problem. But all in all, I'm quite happy with how it turned out. As you can see, it's quite nice. It's quite nice, isn't it? So yeah, thanks for watching. I hope you can use some of this information and how I built it. I will also try to put on a list from all the materials I used. I think it will be around $1,000 or €1,000, I think. But I will put on a brief summary of all the equipment on the video or below it, and then you can check it out for yourself. Yeah, thanks for watching. Like and subscribe, give the comment if you want to, and we'll see you next time. Peace. I want to record.